Every time I walk to the cage, I try to think everything that I did before on the preparation for the fight. And when I step on the octagon, I know I'm ready. I know I'm ready. I don't want to have any kind of goals on my mind. I know that I did everything perfect. I know I'm prepared. I'm just trying to think positive. And also, I always do my prayers, I pray. I always ask God to protect me and to protect my opponent as well. Because you have many ways to win the fight without hurt your opponent very bad. Without broke him, breaking his bone, sending him to hospital. That's not what I want. I want I want to have a clean fight and win my fight, get my job done. And I want my opponent to go home, have a dinner with his family, be safe. I always ask that. I want to be, without injuries, and I also don't want to hurt my opponent bad. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Jiu-Jitsu is my background. For sure, it's the most effect martial art. 99% of the fights goes to the ground. And Jiu-Jitsu gives you that knowledge to how to manage the fight, but I feel comfortable everywhere. I feel comfortable in stand-up, wrestling, and Jiu-Jitsu as well.
I need to figure out a way to open his guard. Sometimes I'm trying to posture here, but the guy's too strong. He keeps me pulling towards him. I can't do nothing. What I have to do, I have to put both arms at the same time. I did this. Now I'm gonna jump here. Try triangle there. No triangle. I passed the guard.
Yeah, man. It will be 10 years in UFC. I think next year. So I'm a former lightweight champion. I think the highest point of my career was when I won the title, when I beat Anthony Pettis. I had a couple good moments on UFC, but that was my favorite. Anthony Pettis was the #1 pound for pound fighter, #1 champion, and I beat him and I won the title, but my goal now is to win my second title, have a welterweight belt. I born and raised in Niterói, in a very rough neighborhood, and I grew up there. I lived there until my 16 years old. Back in the days in Niterói was, where I had a hard time. We were very poor, but Jiu-Jitsu kind of saved my life. I started training. I enjoy very much. I started dedicate myself. I stopped study, and it wasn't my mom went crazy. I missed school a lot to go training, but it was worth it. I usually to fight a lot when I was kid, but since I start training, I change a lot. Once I start training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, my behavior changed. It was very good for me. I even recommend if you have a hyperactive kid, if you have a kid that like to fight in the street, you have to put him to train martial arts because it changed my life. Yeah, my first time I trained, I was 8 or 9 years old, and I trained a little bit for maybe 4 or 6 months. And in my school, I was going to school in that place, but I didn't have money to pay anymore, and then I had to stop. But with the age of 13, 14 years old, I come back to training because I got a place to train for free. It was a public school, and they have Brazilian jiu-jitsu for free. And I start training on that place, and was very good for me because we had 4 different martial arts. We have Brazilian jiu-jitsu, we have judo, we have taekwondo and capoeira in 4 different rooms. And the guys, they come to jiu-jitsu to take a look. And this, my old professor, he was an old school guy, and he liked to put a slap fight, you know. And then he brought this guy from capoeira, taekwondo, and we kind of do like a, back on the days, vale tudo, MMA with the slaps. I was like a kid, 13, 14 years old, and I started doing, I was doing that very often. And I think that helped me to, you know, control my emotions outside of the mat and to create who I am today, too.
I'm gonna do a double attack. I'm looking for the Americana here, okay? I'm grabbing his arm like I'm gonna do the Americana, but he's gonna defend with that arm, right? I'm gonna try to fight here. Yeah, I go inside the arm. Then I put my knee forward. See? I'm gonna go for the armbar. When I go for the armbar, I cross my foot. I have a better control here with my feet crosses, okay? Now, this hand here, I can go that way. If he tried to go on top, to come on top, I just do that.
My first fight, I was brown belt. I was 19 years old. I was 19. I was needing to make some money to pay my bills, to, you know, to make a living. And I got a call like 3 days before my first fight. The guy asked me if I want to fight. They was about to pay me like 150 euros for a fight. And then I never saw that money before. And then I say, of course, I got it. I took the fight with 3 days notice. I lost my first fight, but 2 weeks later, I fought again. I won. And then later on, I start getting, you know, I start training more, and I see that I could make a living with that. If you want to become a fighter, it's a fun life. It's because you do what you love. But, you know, just do everything with love, believe in yourself, and train hard.
De passage à Paris, Vanderlei Silva, combattant légendaire du Pride puis de l'UFC, a tenu à nous dire quelques mots sur Rafael dos Anjos.
I'll talk about Rafael dos Anjos. He's a good friend of mine. I met him when he trained with Rafael Cordeiro. He's my coach as well. And he's really good. He came from jiu-jitsu, but he trained a lot of stand-up, and now both is the same. I think he lost the belt on accident, but I think this belt came back because he's training hard. He's a really professional, and I believe he's going to take this belt to Brazil again. Good luck, Rafael.
Thank you, God. I have this tattoo here. I made it when I was 18, 19 years old. It means, you know, I just feel blessed by Jesus, by God, and I feel blessed, man, for where I came from. And even on the tough times, when you pass through tough times, God is preparing you for something good that comes on the future, you know, to make you stronger. And I feel blessed, man, and then I just have to thank. It's my first time in French, in Paris, and I've been recognized on the street. A lot of people come to me and say hi, asking for a picture. I want to say hi to my French fans. You guys very kind, and thank you for following me. All the best, guys.